Welcome back to an afternoon edition of Doggin It. We're on a roll, Mike. We're doing 2 days in a row so far.
I missed you, man.
Yeah, man. How you doing, Mike?
Good, excited.
Doing good. I'm excited too, Mike. There's a lot of stuff going on in the pool world, all over the world for that matter. And so we got a very special guest on the heels of the Spanish Open and the World Cup of Pool. We're bringing over a champion, Mike, and straight from Bucharest, David Alcaide. David, how are you, my man?
Hello, amigos. Fine, everything's fine. How is the life there?
The life here is couldn't be better.
Yeah, without a
Perfect.
doubt.
It's perfect.
How's
How
the
is
event going in Bucharest, David?
It's amazing. It's 256 players, this full bracket. So many Romanian players, so many for all Euro players. Also, Chain, also the co-brother is here. It's a top tournament.
good? Good.
I've heard that's one of the nicest rooms in Europe or all over the world for that matter.
Yeah. If you see the pool room is have a bowling, have a
Yeah,
ping pong, have a gym, have
yeah.
I don't know how many tables, maybe 45 or more. I don't know.
Wow,
It's
big
it's,
place.
it's amazing. It's amazing pool room.
How's your bowling game, David?
Too bad. like pool, like billiard.
Yeah, yeah. I'm staying away. Then you just knocked your action, my man. That's for sure. What do you got, Mike?
Well, no, I'm just curious. That we're here mostly to talk about the Spanish Open
Yeah, right.
because that's coming up, and that's got to be a big deal for you. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of pride involved with having a major event like that in Spain.
Yeah.
And so, tell us how you feel going ahead of it.
It's special when you have a big tournament in your country. It's more special when you go to Germany or USA or whatever. We work so hard with PRP, with IGP, with Matchroom, of course, for trying to this tournament is possible in Spain. And finally, we have a Spanish Open, we have a Junior
Right?
Francisco FSSR Open. Um, the most important is World Cup of Pool. It's a
Yeah,
dream for us.
yeah.
Do you feel like you would have gotten this opportunity to have a major on your home soil if you and Francisco didn't have the success playing the World Cup of Pool, having the success with the World Pool Masters, and then of course the year that Fran had? Do you feel like this would have came as quickly as it did in Spain had you not had those successes?
I don't know. Sometimes when you play home, sometimes it's good. Or sometimes maybe you have
It's
more
hard.
more pre more
Yeah,
pressure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
When I played in Gibraltar, Gibraltar is close to
right.
Spain. It's 1 hour for my town, for Malaga. When I played there, so many friends go to Gibraltar. Of course, for my opponent is tough, but also for me is a more pressure. You want to play much better. You
Yeah.
Right.
feel you feel all this pressure.
Tell us who the organizers are in Lugo. Who is putting this event on?
It's 7 years ago. Is my biggest sponsor. Is IGP. Is from Carlos Iglesias from Galicia. Um, I have the opportunity to talk to him and say, why you do trying to organize this tournament? And
Right.
in this moment, he start to work with Emily, with Matchroom, with PRP. Um, he loves billiard. He also have a company for billiard. All table is, or 75% is bar table,
Right.
but he has a league. The league for him maybe is 2,000 players or 1,000 and a half, 500 players. It's a big city for the billiard. Um, Also in the three tournament, three professional tournament, they have amateur tournament. They have
Okay.
uh, from Galicia, single, team. I think, Mike, this tournament is like Vegas, but
Oh yeah.
little small, little small.
A little smaller. Okay.
little small. Too many amateur players, but with professional players. It's so beautiful.
So tell me about the field. I mean, you've been to the U.S. Open, and there's a lot of the field are American players who aren't top professionals. And you go to the UK Open, a lot of British players who aren't top professionals. In Spain, a lot of Spanish players fill out the field. How is the level of the rest of the Spanish players?
A good, really good player. We have a really good player, strong player, but they have a bad luck. They don't have a big sponsor. They don't have
Right.
for the opportunity about family or business or billiard is an expensive sport. If you
Mhm.
want to go, you need to pay your entry fee, your hotel, you fly,
Right.
everything. You need to win. If you don't
Yeah.
win, maybe you
Yeah.
can't to play another tournament.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. So, so it'll be a fun field. It'll be a fun event. Are you nervous at all about feeling more pressure, or just having more people wanting to talk to you and take up more of your time and things like that, as instead of focusing on the game?
I try to focus only in my game, but of course, I think when Francisco and me we play in World Cup of Pool, we feel more pressure. So many people watch, say, okay, now is you is
Oh, sorry about that. Looks like Molina dropped off and has to refresh, and because David is on through his link, they both disappeared. So for now, you've got me. I don't have any good jokes this week, but thank God, thank God you're back.
I don't know what happened. Let me message David. Let's see if we can get him to refresh. My camera just took a dive. I'm not sure what happened, but we're back nevertheless.
I was
So,
ready to go deep
uh,
into the joke well.
well, Mike, this is what I wanted to do. It was kind of a April Fool's in June kind of day. So,
Yeah, yeah.
let me see. I'm gonna have David.
We got to get him back on because I got a surprise for him.
Do you really?
I do.
Well, I don't want you to spoil it, but I'm excited to get him back on. Hopefully, I just messaged Matt right now.
And
Um,
message David too and tell him to threat me.
oh yeah. But no, this is great, man. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. He's back in here. David, are you back with us? Can you hear us?
I don't know if I speak alone or no.
We usually don't have these kind of issues, but we adapt when we need to.
I don't see you, Mike, but I see.
No, we're dogging it. My camera took a dive. I don't know what the hell happened, but
So we were talking about.
I told. I finally
I
say,
appreciate you guys have been doing a great
hello.
job. Yeah, so funny, man.
Did you say anything important?
I don't remember, but I think so.
Well,
Yes.
we talked a little about how excited you are for the
Yeah.
Spanish Open
Yeah.
and things like that.
It's in amazing for us when you play home, you play World Cup of Pool. We are.
Well, that's the thing. Right after the Spanish Open will be the World Cup of Pool in the same place. That's going to be even bigger because you and Francisco will be on the center stage, and Jonas and Delgado, and it's going to be great, right?
Yeah, of course. For Jonas and Delgado is a really good experience. For all Spanish player is they have opportunity to see also Jonas, Delgado, Francisco, and me, but so many really top players. They don't see only in TV. Only they
Yeah.
see when playing. Now they see in live.
Yeah.
This is amazing for a Spanish player.
Well, do you think a lot of players will stick around? A lot of the Spanish players will stay around for the World Cup of Pool to watch you guys?
I think in Spanish Open have more people. I
Right.
think in my opinion, but it's the same. But both tournament play in the same time for amateur tournament.
Okay.
We have full guarantee.
Good. It's I look forward to a very Spanish crowd, loud, pulling
You come
for
to
you.
Spain or no?
No, I can't come to Spain. I would love to come to Spain. I'm ready to eat. I know that the food there is
Yes.
fantastic.
The Galicia is the most popular is octopus. In English is octopus. It's
Octopus?
amazing, man. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that one, man. You lost me there.
If
No,
you
no,
if you try
I'm all
maybe
in.
you don't back to USA.
Yeah.
I like the confidence, man. Let's talk about the pressure of the World Cup, David, because you guys are not just playing on your home soil, but y'all are defending champions, you and Francisco. What was that experience like for you, winning that with your brother, and finally sharing a title together?
We're trying to feel the same for all year, no? Of course, this year is different. We want a title. Before we think you think one time we can to win. Now we have more experience, more. Of course, if you see the last year for Francisco is
Yeah.
Right.
is a king in billiard. I say before, but now when beginning when we play the first two World Cup of pool, sometimes I need to check to Francisco. Don't worry, don't feel pressure, stay focused. Now I don't have to say I don't need to say nothing something. Francisco sometimes say David relax.
Yeah.
Now we are a brother. We know what job is much better for us. We don't have any problem. We try to give our best.
How important is having that chemistry, David, when you're playing partners with someone, not just Francisco, but also like in the Mosconi Cup, being able to gel with someone and trust your partner. How important is that to having success in a tournament like that?
I think it's really important when in the team you have one player is a shooting player for long shots and you have another player is more tactic, more safety player. In my opinion, this is a really good mix. This is a really good, and I think it's we are this Francisco when we have a long shot. I don't need to say something. I say Francisco, you too. When we need to play safety, Francisco say, David, it's your turn.
Yeah.
And also when I need to play long shot, I try to make, and also when Francisco need to play safety,
Yeah, he plays
of
good
course.
safety.
But
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for the event. It's pretty special having it on your home soil in front of your fans. You have a daughter, David. I'm curious, is she going to be out there, watching when you go out there and compete? Is she going to be able
No,
to see it? No,
no, she can't to go. No.
no. What if you make the finals, David? What if you make it in the finals?
It's funny. It's funny. Sometimes she watch in the song Spain.
Yeah.
I can remember the for history. I can remember in Whirlpool Master, she look all my round, but no in the final. Final is too late. She go to
Too
sleep.
late in the
Go to
day.
sleep.
Yeah, when I wanted the Whirlpool Master, I take the trophy and I back home. And in the
Yeah.
morning, I wake up for Daniela. Say, "Hey, Daniela, say, Papa, you need to play another round."
No, I'm done.
Say, no,
And then you
I
show her the
play.
trophy, right?
Say, no, I play yesterday. No, she like billiard. She's 1 month ago. She said, "Papa, I want to start to play billiard." I say, "Oh no,
Oh, please no.
oh no, come on."
Yeah, just
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I say, "Please, we go to play to tennis or another sport."
But does she grasp like how vital you are to the sport, the kind of athlete that you are when it comes to pool? Like, does she understand that you're a pretty big deal in pool? You think?
She,
Yeah.
my daughter.
Right. Does she understand, like, my dad's on TV, he's, representing the country.
Yeah. He lied. He lied. I know she want to in the school. She say, but it's tough when you say, "Hey, Daniel, I need to go." Say, "Okay, Papa, you love short or you love young, long time." Say,
You're right.
"Maybe I need to go 2 months." This is tough for
Tough.
her,
Yeah,
or for
really.
Yeah.
also for me, of course.
Yeah, of
Right.
course. Of course.
Well, we know you got dinner plans. I think Mike's got something up his sleeve. I'm not mistaken, right?
Well,
Right,
yeah,
Mike?
no. So the Spanish Open. Do you
Mhm.
know your first round opponent, Paul?
It's from Spanish por.
Mondrio,
Oh,
Paul Florin.
Paul Florin?
Yeah, yeah.
Paul Florin. I know him. Yes.
Okay. Well, you're going to play him. I heard the very first match of the tournament on table 1 on Tuesday.
Is that right?
That's right.
It's all right.
Yep.
Okay.
Table one Tuesday, first match of the Spanish Open will be David Alcaide.
You're on the TV table. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you so much for Matchroom for giving me this support.
Just a little added pressure.
No pressure, David.
I try always try when I play in TV table. I try to enjoy. I try to enjoy. I love to the pressure when I play Mosconi or when I play World Pool Match or World Cup of Pool. That's the matter if you want or for you lose any stupid shot. But I love this pressure. This is why I am pool player.
So, and when you get on TV, a TV match like that, do you try to be more entertaining? Do you maybe take shots that are a little bit tougher because the TV cameras are there? Do you ever think that?
I feel like a battle is to say, okay, it's not the matter who is my opponent. It's the table against me. I need to beat to the table. I try to don't think about the spectator, don't think about the camera, don't think about only focus in my game. When I miss any ball, trying to relax in my seat and say, okay, don't worry, don't lose your confidence and give your best.
I don't know if I believe that after seeing you drill that bank at the Whirlpool Masters. I know it laid good, but
oh my God!
If it wasn't the TV table, I don't think he takes that bank on.
Yeah, he ducks for the save for sure. David, I want to just get you out of here on this. The Chinese players are returning, including Wu Jiajing, to the Spanish Open and the World Cup of Pool. What kind of player is Wu from your experience over the years of playing him, and how excited are you, if any, to see him back on the main stage?
He's the I don't know if I can to say the best talent player I see in my life, but Joshua, Kachi, Francisco, Fedor or Victor Sielicki now is amazing talent,
right?
But he's top. I don't know. It's in this time he is still to play in China. He play a tournament or no? This is the only question. It's like Fedor. It's a machine, but in 2 years he don't play a tough tournament. He play only in USA. This is why maybe some people, including me, we think say we don't know how he feel when he play in Matchroom tournament.
Of course,
that's the matter for the level. The level is a champion.
Right.
But we will see Buchachin how feel. Fedor is in tournament, and all big names in the tournament. I mean, I think it's the tournament for more level in this 2023.
Well, in a lot of aspects, it's going to be the toughest tournament in quite some time because of the return of the Chinese players and a few other players. I am so excited to watch it be on your home soil, David. We appreciate you making time for us. Good luck out there. And if you don't win the Spanish Open, at least go snap off that World Cup of Pool, buddy.
If you need something when we are in Spanish Open World Cup of Pool, any information, only send me a text and I don't have any problem.
Send us some carryouts.
I'm gonna take you up on that. Yeah.
Send us some takeaways, some food.
Yeah.
No. Mike Molina, my Spanish Open for you is World Cup.
I tell you what, the only thing I ask is that if you win the tournament, I want the jersey. That's all I ask. So when you win, ship the jersey and we'll call it even. David, we appreciate you, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Go enjoy dinner, man.
See you soon. Bye, amigos. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, Mike, that was a lot of fun, and we appreciate David and Matt for making that happen. It was on the fly coordinating, but we make it work all the time, So, Mike, I just left the gym. I got my daughters with me, and I see a message from Matt, message from Mike. Where you at? We can get David. I said I'll be home in 20 minutes. Let's get it rocking and rolling.
Yeah. And then Matt sent
But
me a note to say that. Well, Matt
how did
sent
you
me a note
find
and
out that he's
said,
playing number one? We don't get news like I don't get news like that. I got to be
I
doing this for the number
I
of years like you
messaged.
do to get that information.
I just messaged him when he was messaging us and just said, "Give me something juicy." And he said, "Well, tell David he's playing on table one, the very first match, and FSR will be the first match on table one on day 2."
Is that right?
Correct.
That's pretty exciting. I mean, David's to be the first guy through for your country and have success is pretty special. And I know there was other players, from Spain that have had like marginal success, but David was the first,
Yeah,
in a
no,
lot of
for sure.
in a lot of aspects, and it's not just a matter of like just getting, rewarded for things because of that, because David steps up to play, and like you said, when the pressure is the biggest, and it's something pretty special. And that guy's made highlight reels, Mike.
Yeah,
That'll live on forever.
he's
You
on a
know,
few highlight reels, and he made some highlight reels at Moscone when everybody kind of questioned his inclusion on the team and thought that he was basically there to be a doubles partner, and his biggest shots on that stage were in singles matches.
oh,
Uh,
I remember when he was playing. I think he was playing a doubles match, and it wasn't like the prettiest of matches. He followed that up. I want to say he played Tyler, if I'm not mistaken, but he
oh,
came
first
out
he did
and
it. He did it twice. He lost in doubles and then came out and beat Oscar, and then he lost in doubles and then came out and drilled Tyler.
But it
Yeah,
was like the dude was breaking like King Kong, Mike.
yeah,
I mean, just broke the ball, squatted the cue ball. Everything was out in the open. He was
yeah.
just, for lack of a better word, he was a machine out there, Mike.
Yeah, he
You know,
was. He was.
and
He had an amazing couple of singles matches out there because he did not look good in some of those doubles matches.
no,
But and that was supposed to be his reason for being there was to, help Francisco and be a good doubles partner. But he was a monster in the singles.
I like when players play with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. Like the
Sure,
way but like still handle it with class the way that David did, because he
right.
did. And
Yeah, he didn't chest pump.
um,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. But like it's part of like the stories of sports that I feel like that make it great. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or things like that. It didn't help that Pinozo was on the back wall, yelling at the top of his lungs, amongst the 2,500 fans that were there. Um, no, but it was something special. I'm excited to see, and I think it's at a perfect time. And this is part of what I think is the brilliance of what Matchroom is doing. It's like they're hitting spots that are relevant now. Going and having a Spanish Open now with the success that Francisco has had. I know there's going to be an Asian Open coming up pretty soon as well. Of course, we got the
Right.
U.S. Open that's always going to be pretty amazing. But having this new event be added onto the calendar just couldn't come at a more perfect time given their success, Mike.
Yeah, no, it's great for Olive Pool. It's great for Matchroom. It's great to be able to have that get a couple of European countries, because in recent years it's been pretty much UK, US, type of thing. It's been hard to find those landing spots on the continent, which for the 10 years previous had been pretty dormant in terms of decent sized tournaments. Um, so it's great to see, you've got the European Open in Germany, you've got the Spanish Open in Spain, you had the World Championship in Poland. So it's great to see these European countries, because that's going to help them grow pool in their own countries too, right? You look through this field here, the draw for the Spanish Open, and like all 256 player tournaments in any of these Matchroom events, a third of it or close to half of it is going to be the local, the host country is going to have all the fill-ins, and we see it in the U.S. with all the U.S. players, the bar players and the shortstops,
Yeah,
in the
but
U.S.
it's
I
different,
mean, we
Mike.
see it in the U.K.
When you do that in the UK, or you do that in Europe, then you get like the Elliot Sandersons who come and make a splash on the scene.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I
Where
think
most players haven't.
for the most part, even at the European Open, most of the British players were significantly lower than the curve, and I'm anxious to see how the Spanish players are relative to the field. And again, like looking forward, we talk about the Asian Open when it's in Asia. not going to be, it's going to be 256 players. There could be no shortstops there.
The
You
taxi
better
cab
buckle.
driver is going to rob
Yeah,
you.
you better buckle up when you're over there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be anxious, but it's just good to see because whether these players do really well or not. It's building that aspiration aspect of pool in Spain. We host a big tournament. We're playing. I played in that tournament. And all of a sudden it becomes more of a buzz around the pool scene in all of Spain, and that's the way you're going to help start to build this up in all these countries.
Well, it could get their players maybe more respect or recognition that maybe they haven't had before, not just domestically there in Spain, but national or on the world stage for that matter,
Right.
Mike. And
Right.
and maybe afford them some opportunities, like David said, that you may not know a lot of these guys, but they can play, and it's only because of the logistics of it that have maybe prevented them from being able to go out and compete regularly out there. But I remember watching like these PRP events that have been going on the last couple of years, and there's guys that like I can remember from watching Euro tours and recognize the name, but then there's other guys that are just like they just keep on winning and winning and winning, and those are pretty decent fields in their own right, Mike. In their own right,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Well, let's talk about the Spanish Open some more, Mike. What are you looking forward to it? What do you think as far as like let's say the big 20-ish players that have a really great shot at contending for this title?
Yeah, well, it's the European Open, the Spanish Open, the UK Open. They're pretty much, half the field is pretty much the same, right? And then the other half of the field are, the more local regional entrants.
Right. Yeah,
so all the heavy hitters are there. It's going to be you're going to look into when it gets the single elimination. You're looking to see who's there and who's not. When it gets single elimination, Albin, Kachi,
Albin wasn't there in the last single elimination, Mike.
Oh, there were a few players who weren't. So, and you're probably going to see more of that as these events are more frequent. These big 256 player European events where all the European players come in. There's going to be guys who, that's the way you build that experience. All of a sudden you chip one guy away that you weren't supposed to beat. And so that we'll probably end up seeing, a couple of casualties before the cut to single elimination like we've done. And again, like I said, I think that's going to be more of the rule than the exception going forward. You're going to see a couple of guys who are going to, it makes everybody have to pick up their game, which is what you want.
I mean, as 4 inches becomes the standard, then more players are going to get more confident and consistent and table time, on said condition. So it's only going to just help their own individual momentum, and then you can see what they're really capable of. I think it was very telling from David, like when he talked about, the return of Wu and a guy like Federer, where it was like, well, they haven't been playing on this stage, and he realizes and recognizes that, there's a big difference on playing on a Matchroom stage versus playing anywhere else. And he's 1,000,000% right, Mike. He hits the nail on the head with that statement. I love what you said, though, as far as it becoming more of the rule, because I think you're right. I think in a lot of aspects, you're going to see not at a high clip, but at a decent rate where you'll start having a percentage of these players who we expect to be there in the final 64 or 32, whatever it is, that aren't going to be making it through that cut like we saw in the last event.
And you're going to have more and more surprises in the final 16. More of the Moritzes and the Rikus.
But this is why I wanted to see Wolford play this. This is why I wanted to see him follow.
We all did, and he wanted to play in it. He just said that it was cost prohibitive, whether he was late to trying to pull the trigger or not. But we understand that part of it. So he wanted to be in there. Trust me. But we're seeing a lot of these younger players, hungry players. There's a lot of them out there. Every tournament, you add a couple more to the list.
Well, you mentioned Riku. You mentioned a kid like Moritz. Who are some other names that come to mind? Who let's say in the category of maybe haven't lived up to expectations, Mike. But
you look at someone like this tournament is ripe for someone like Jonas to everybody all the Spaniards are going to be watching David and Francisco, right? Maybe he can, have a little pressure off him because he's got, they're carrying all the weight of Spain on their shoulders, and maybe he can do some damage. Would love to see something like that. That place would go crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised because I've seen how he's been playing over the last 6 months, and it's been playing with a lot of confidence. It's very like no, never mind, I don't want to give that comparison, but he's been playing very well. I was gonna say kind of
Yeah,
like
don't
how
compare him
Wolford
to
is.
me.
Well, I was gonna say like how Wolford is right now, but I think Jonas is playing, a little better than
On a
Shane is right
consistent
now.
level, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And just hitting the ball with confidence because like how I see how confidently Wolford hits the ball, that's what I'm seeing from Jonas. But I know that Jonas kind of had his number because they've played a little bit or met in tournaments over the last few months. But yeah, I feel like you hit the nail on the head. We got introduced, really a lot of us, to like a kid like Delgado. What was it, last year during the European? So both those guys are capable of
Yeah,
making a deep run, even though they're like the B team, and I'm not
right,
talking about
right,
just World
right,
Cup of Pool here, So,
right.
um,
I
I
see.
like
I see a couple of younger brothers on here. Well, I
who's
don't know if
that?
they're younger brothers. Well, Kachi's brother is going to play in the Spanish Open, and he said he's a beast. And I see another Rampinen. So I don't know how many Rampinen. I'm sure it's
Oh,
maybe a
that's
fairly
Iro.
common
That's
name.
Riku's dad.
That's his
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
Okay.
Iro is Riku's dad.
Okay.
He can play. He can play himself. The dude looks like, Paul Bunyan. Dude's massive, but no, he plays
We
great.
got family stuff in here. You got a couple Rampinens, you got a couple Kachis, you got a couple
Oh,
fillers. I mean, Pia and Josh are both playing.
you know, you
So
have a brother like Kachi, to spar with. The kid can make a ball.
yeah, I guarantee it.
And I'd imagine he's probably a big boy like his brother. I don't know that to be so,
Well,
but
they
I,
if he's the one who took the picture with him after the UK,
it is. Oh, I
you
don't think
know,
that. No, I don't think. No,
that
that's
was
not
his
him.
older brother.
I think so.
There
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
definitely a brother in there with him,
yeah,
and they look like
yeah,
spitting it. But yeah, he said his younger brother is a great snooker player, but can
yeah.
play pool. Yeah, it's
We're
going to be
gonna
interesting.
we're gonna find. I mean, there's gonna be players who are gonna make names for themselves, Mike. Who are gonna force themselves onto a radar and into the conversation. It's just from an odd standpoint, it's a lock.
Yeah.
Because it happens every time. What are some other players that you want to see do well and maybe take that
Well,
next step?
I need to
Come
kind
to
of
the
look
Spanish
through
Open.
I hadn't had a chance to really look through the list to see if some of our guys are on there, like um, uh, the Filipino, not James, but are the
Oh, I
what
think
Philip
I think James will be there.
James there? But what about the
Yeah,
who's the other Filipino who the young
Chua.
kid? No, 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 no.
Oh, you're talking about Kyle.
Yes,
Oh,
Kyle
I don't know if
Alvarado.
I saw his name. We probably should have done some homework before we hit the live button, Mike.
Well, we got kind of caught off guard by the instant message saying, "Excuse me, David's here if you want to talk."
Yeah,
So I would like to see some of the Filipino players back in there. I know Carlo's not. Someone mentioned here Carlo's not playing, which
well,
we're kind of getting used to. And Chang is not participating, which is kind of interesting. Yungling
I don't
Chang.
think I don't think what a kid like Kyle did is a one off. I think this is
No,
just
but
the
you got to get
beginning.
out there. We want to see him more, right?
Yeah, but like out of everybody, because just like what David said that we talked about, right? How it takes time to get reacclimated to Matchroom and
Right.
how it's different, and all that. That was that kid's first time playing in under those circumstances. He played with a lot of confidence, Mike, and had a
Yeah.
ton of success. Like I know he's won majors in the Philippines before, but it's different, and he didn't show that learning curve was too much for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't see him on the list from what I'm looking through now. In fact, I don't think I see Aranis on the list from what I'm looking through now. Um, yeah, I'm just looking for a Filipino flag. Any kind of Filipino will do. And I'm
And he
not
could,
seeing any.
well, we'll be posting the players list and the draws out currently. I think the
Oh,
event. When does it start, Mike?
Aranis is there
Okay, there you
for
go.
sure.
And James has
Aranis,
been playing with a lot of confidence too. Before he ran into Niels and that Niels buzzsaw, he was a lot of people's pick to
yeah,
win that event.
yeah, he
So
was to go deep for sure. Chua's playing. I don't see Kyle in there.
well, Chua makes
Like,
sense because he's going to be following that
yeah,
event
they're
up
they're
with
playing in the World Cup
World
of
Cup of
Pool
Pool
together.
together.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so that's going to be a great. Give me a dark horse for the finals, Mike, and give me someone who you kind of expect to be there on that last day.
Um, I expect Fran to be there on the last day.
So you're saying Final Four for Fran?
Yes, for Fran. I think that um, he's
His
going to be
his
really jacked up to
his,
play in there, and I
his
think that,
break did not look Fran like in the UK
and
Open,
that's why
Mike.
I don't, I see him bouncing back, and this would be the perfect place for him to bounce back. As far as dark horse, you know, I, Jonas then would be, if Fran didn't make it, Jonas would be my dark horse. I think there's going to be a Spanish player who's going to, one of those top 4 Spanish players is going to get to that Final Four.
I hope so, because it'll really just liven up that crowd
Oh,
there and
great.
give people something to root for even more. It's one thing to have, it's one thing to have a tournament on your home soil. It's another thing to have guys who can seriously compete. Like on the American side of it, for like the U.S. Open, we really only got what, 2, maybe 3 guys at the most who
Right.
can, like who really have a legitimate shot.
Right.
Unless somebody just goes on the Cinderella run.
Right.
Spain has at a minimum 4 guys who can, make a decent sized run at it. But will that pressure be too much for him? I don't think so. When it comes to Francisco and David, when it comes to Jonas and Delgado, we'll see. But this is their time to kind of like step up
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, they can be under the radar for a little while, but once you start getting to that last 16, last 8, the lights are a little brighter.
Well, yeah, but that's the first really. I mean, Delgado, like I said, he had, he went deep in the European, but it's different, man. Playing in front of your people, and so I'm beyond excited for the event. Matchroom, always does it well. 2 tables, I'd imagine, and just a ton of coverage from morning, noon, and night. I hope that time difference don't go and kill me, because I'm barely getting, recovered from California. So, but some other players that I'm looking forward to seeing if they're making a run, Mike. Federer caught a little bit of a gear in the last event that he was in, and he didn't seem to stumble like we had seen before.
Right.
I want to see a kid like Victor and see him take another step on a Matchroom stage as well.
Yeah, I want to see him do well, because he seems to really get down on himself lately when he doesn't do well, because I think he's set expectations for himself so high at such a young age by having some success. So
it's realistic though. Those are legit. Those are legit expectations that he can
they
live
are.
up to.
It's a lot of pressure to put on yourself when you're 20 years old. So you just don't want to see him get frazzled
Too
by
rattled.
because he's such a good player and he's such a good kid. So I want to see him do well.
Yeah,
Someone asked if
he
Sophie's
wears it.
playing. I have to look through it. I would imagine he is, because he's in the World Cup of Pool as well. So
Yeah,
I would
he should
imagine
be.
anybody who's in the World Cup of Pool is at the Spanish Open.
Yeah, without a doubt. But including Wu, Mike, and this is one guy that is.
Yeah. So what do you expect to see out of Wu? Rust or no?
Yeah, rust. I
Really?
mean, I can't argue against that formula because it's held up for so long. I mean, I know that he's a phenom, right? And
Well, you have to assume he's been staying somewhat sharp in China. I mean, it's not like they haven't been able to hit a ball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's been like Chang, where he's been playing more of Chinese 8-ball than anything else. But I mean,
I wonder if Chang
David.
is playing in that big Chinese 8-ball tournament over there right now. I wonder if
Oh,
that's
I
why
wouldn't be
he's not as
surprised.
Spanish.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's the one that Alex Pagalion's at right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, the
Mike.
only thing I think about Wu is that I remember, we hadn't really seen a lot of him before he popped up for the U.S. Open in 19, when it was the first Matchroom U.S. Open in Vegas, and he made the final against Josh.
It was a great final, Mike. That
It
was
was a
my
great
first time.
final,
Yeah.
but I don't remember him being real active that year and a half before that event. He would
Yeah,
pop
but
up
that was the
once.
last time we saw him, Mike. It's been like 3-4
Yeah,
years now.
yeah,
You
right.
know,
So he's
and
3-4 years older, but doesn't mean that he can't play.
well, I'm not saying he's going to and out. But like the expectation is that of these top level players. He's in
Yeah.
that 1% of 1% category, and that's the bar that we're going to hold him to. And I hope that we get to see him go deep in this run. I hope that we get to see some, great matchups that we got, like let's say at the World Championships a few years ago where Shane went on that run. I hope we get to see top guys compete at the end. Kachi's had a lot of momentum. I expect him to
Oh,
be
man.
there I expect him to be there that at least that second to last day, if not that last day again. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, he's
and
kind of on one of those Fran type of runs, isn't he?
well, see, I don't want to say that because it's so hard to like. Before the standard was what Albin did, right? That was the norm. That's what we have seen from guys. Just, and Josh had a run like Albin had as well, right? Where like you're
Right.
winning every couple of majors, right? But then Fran just kind of like elevated
That was a
that
different
bar,
gear. Yeah, that was a different
right?
gear.
Yeah, completely. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Mike, if he's there in another final. I mean, how can you bet against them right now? You know.
He's a tough one to bet against. That's for sure.
So
Yeah.
if let's say we get a dream matchup of a Fran Kachi final, who you taking?
If it's a Fran Kachi final, Fran
Yeah.
all day long.
Really? Why is
In
that?
Spain, and I just figure in Spain, he's just not going to miss.
Okay, well, I hope we get
Some
that
people would
because
say there'd be too much pressure on him. I would say that he would love that he would eat up being the final in Spain.
well, we know the guy can thrive under pressure. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that. But what I'm going to do is if that comes to fruition, or if they meet in let's say the round of 16 or 32,
So
what I'm going to do is
you're too Kachi.
no. I'm gonna invite Clinty on, and I'm gonna replay this clip for him, and I'm gonna tell him how Mike said he's
So
getting
what
steamrolled.
is would that be your dream final matchup?
I think from like the event standpoint, yeah, because you talk about guys who have a lot of momentum versus the from a country standpoint, you're probably the candle is Fran right now, right? You would think. I mean,
Well, yeah, no,
so
I just I think my dream final for the same type of reasons you're talking about would be Fran against Wu, and then you
wow,
start tilting toward the Asian Open.
wow, yeah. I mean, that'd be great too. You
Yeah.
know, I I want to see Wu do. I want to see Wu do. I do. I do. I love watching the guy play that event, that
That's it. He
matchroom
better
event.
be on some TV matches. That's all I know.
Oh, well, they're going to maximize his return the way that they've kind of built it up. And,
Yeah.
pool fans around the world have been wanting to watch him play again for so many years. We haven't seen him since that final, Mike, and it's been a shame. And it kind of ended under the most heartbreaking of circumstances where he's bridged on the side rail.
Yeah.
And then as he's got all the momentum, because he had all the momentum,
Yeah.
in that match up until that point. I know he was down, but he was coming and he was coming
He was
strong.
coming hard. Yeah.
And he was just he was picking apart racks, and then to kind of have that touchy foul that happened, it was a little bittersweet.
Well, here's a juicy one for you.
What's that?
He wins his first round match. He probably gets Wojciech in the second round. That would be a good TV match.
Oh, if he wins that, you better believe that's going to be a TV matchup. The world 10 ball champion versus the return of Wu. Yeah, without a doubt, that better be a TV table match. And
Yeah.
it don't get much better than that. And that's kind of how it's brutal is that this dude's being, kind of like Kyle in a lot of aspects of being unranked.
Yeah.
Wu's unranked, so you do not want to be facing him. That's pretty sick if you're Wojciech to have him,
Looking at you in the next round.
just waiting for you. Hey, here I am. I'm here. So tons of talking points, tons of stuff that we're going to be doing. I hope we're going to have a draft show over the next couple of days if we can swing it. I've been looking forward to robbing you guys again ever since that last time. So we'll be having a ton more coverage, a lot more player interviews. Matt from Matchroom is always great and helps us out, which he helped coordinate this interview with David as well. So Mike, you got anything else, buddy, before we get out of here?
All good.
All right, you guys. So stay tuned. We'll be going live a lot more over the next coming days, and we appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. Later, y'all.